to me, what makes sense is Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones. I think that is the fight to make. If you're the UFC, how do you not make that fight? And I think there's no time like the present to make it. I think the window of opportunity on that fight is not very big. If Alex Pereira moves up to heavyweight, he could become the first ever triple champion in the UFC. So he would have won championships in 3 different weight classes: middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. Jon Jones is a double champion and considered by many to be the greatest of all time. The interesting thing about Alex Pereira and Jon Jones is that they both created a very strong legacy in the light heavyweight division. However, they don't have any mutual opponents, and I think that's really interesting, and it's going to make it a little bit harder to predict this fight, I think, because a lot of times it's easier to tell how fighters are going to look if they've fought the same opponent. Like, for example, looking at Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira versus Sean Strickland, you can kind of tell different nuances and things about the way that they fight. I don't think you can compare Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones to Cyril Gane versus Jon Jones. I think this is a completely different fight. I think that Alex Pereira has better grappling than Cyril Gane. Obviously, we haven't seen it in the cage much because he hasn't really had to use it much. I mean, why would he when he has a left hand that can just shut people's lights out? I don't know why you would waste your energy grappling, but maybe we'll see it at some point in the near future. So a fight with Jon Jones is really interesting because in the fight with Dominic Reyes, Jon Jones did show some vulnerability, and it was whenever he was going in to throw a kick at Dominic, he opened himself up to a left hand, and Dominic hurt him really bad. And then he landed a few more, I think 2 or 3 more left hands right after that. I think that is a huge opportunity right there for Alex Pereira to expose. How does Jon Jones handle Alex Pereira's power? Because we know Alex Pereira has more power than Dominic Reyes. So how does Jon Jones handle it? When he got hurt by Dominic Reyes, does that same shot from Alex Pereira, does that shut his lights out? Does that hurt him? Does that drop him? What happens? And is Jon Jones' chin better at heavyweight or light heavyweight? I would imagine it would be better with him being bigger. He looks like he's been lifting a lot of weights. So in this fight, honestly, I think that Jon Jones will have a strength advantage, a fight IQ advantage, and just an overall cage time advantage. And I think that Alex Pereira will have a power and a speed advantage in the striking. Yeah, I think that Jon Jones is just going to be stronger. I think he's going to be a little bit smarter. And he will be able to, if this fight goes the distance, I think we'll be able to pull it off. I don't see Alex Pereira winning a decision to Jon Jones. I think if he wins, it would be a knockout. I personally would love to see this fight, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if the UFC does it. I know they were supposed to do Jon Jones versus Stipe in November. So I don't know. I think that fight just isn't as interesting, especially when you have Alex Pereira coming off of a knockout over Yuri Prochazka. I think that Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira, yeah, that's the fight to make in my opinion. So we'll see if the UFC makes it happen.